Okay, so a little backstory to what is happening in these verses here. In the beginning of the book of Exodus, it talks about how the Israelites are slaves in Egypt. And the Lord had came to Moses and said to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. So Moses brought the Israelites out of Egypt. There was the whole thing in chapter 13 of the book of Exodus where the Red Sea was parted and all the Egyptians that were running after the Israelites, they ended up dying in the Red Sea, and they were on the way to the promised land. And in these verses here that we just read, they were grumbling because they were so hungry. They were in the wilderness and they were like, we should have just died in Egypt. At least we had food there. Now we're just going to starve to death. And in verse 4, the Lord said, I am going to rain bread from heaven for you. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. And if you continue to read on in chapter 16 of Exodus, it talks about whenever the people were gathering it, the people that gathered a lot, they measured it and they didn't have any surplus, and the people that gathered a little didn't have any shortage. And Moses had told them not to leave any for the morning, but the people that did leave part of it until the morning, it stunk and there was worms in it. And the only time where the next morning there was no maggots or anything in the bread and it didn't stink was on the seventh day, because the Lord said, on the sixth day, you're going to gather enough for 2 days. So on the seventh day, they rested and they were able to eat that bread from heaven that God had provided them. So this story is a perfect demonstration of how God provides us our daily bread. And He gives us exactly how much we need for today, every day, and we have to keep coming back to the Lord for that daily bread. He sustains us, but He also wants a relationship with us, and it's important for us to continue to go to the Lord for our daily bread.